This week I've got the 2024 Honda Civic Touring, and it just might be the king of compact sedans. So I'm going to show you the exterior, the interior, and of course I'm going to take you on a POV drive. Let's get started. So as usual, we're going to start off with the front end for this Honda Civic Touring. Not a lot of crazy stuff going on, not a lot of crazy body lines. You got these really nice daytime running LEDs. I left the engine running while I'm filming here so you can see just how kind of quiet it is. It's really not a big loud noise. You're saving the performance for, you know, things like the Civic Type R and the Civic Si, which comes in manual. I really like these rims that it comes with as well. Got fog lights, some parking sensors, no front-facing camera because there's no 360-degree camera. This car is around $34,000 Canadian, so that's where we're starting things off. But I really like the front end. Very aggressive, very nice. Honda hasn't changed very much over the years, so that's a good news too. So let's take a look at what we have under the hood. We have a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's giving us 180 horsepower, 177 pound-feet of torque. So that is also a very nice little bump in the engine spec. It does get lower than that. It still comes in the hatchback version, the Civic. We also are getting a CVT transmission as well as front-wheel drive only, but that's fine too. That's the usual for the Civics for pretty much every year. Okay, next we move on to the side profile. You can see how kind of we are pushing the limit on what we can call compact. This thing does look very big, quite long, but I do enjoy it. It gives quite a bit of room in almost like a smaller footprint, but not so much. We really are pushing that full-size sedan kind of Accord level of stance, and I'll kind of compare it to like something like a Sonata. We're very close to the size of that as well. I really like the rims on this thing, like I said before, very nice. We'll get a little bit closer. We have some nice turn signal LEDs. Again, no camera for that, but we do have a keyless entry, which is very nice. Slide your hand in there and it will unlock all the doors. Fantastic. So you can see the sun starts to come out here. The paint looks very nice with the rims. This is my favorite trim for the Civic. Maybe not my favorite color, but I still think it looks nice for what it is. Last but of course not least, we move on to look at the back of the Civic Touring. It is a very nice touch here. I do like it a lot. It's, you know, the same Civic headlights or tail lights that you've actually been seeing for a couple of years now, but it's still very nice. You can see them as I come into the dark here. There's no exhaust for the Touring. I kind of am disappointed that we don't get a little exhaust showing. I get it that it's on the Civic Si and stuff, and the Civic Type R, you get exhaust in the wing, but it would have been nice to see a little bit of extra sportiness on the Touring, but that's okay. We have the Touring badge and also the Civic badge right back there. Let's take a look at the trunk. Last but not least, of course, I've got nice Civic carpets there. They included this nice little hockey stick kind of thing there. That's a nice touch. That's cool. Just kind of came with a press car. I like this mat. Very good. Very much a lot of space. That's why I'm saying it's borderline on the non-compact because of the amount of legroom I have in the rear and the amount of storage that I have in the trunk here. But it's absolutely fantastic. Plenty of stuff. You can fold the seats down via those two pull tabs right there. Not too much storage under the floor. I think it's like I'm pretty sure it's a spare tire under there. Yep, you can see there is a spare tire with a jack under there, but the mat is a very nice touch, and I would option those because they look very good. So there you go. That's going to do it for our exterior tour for the Honda Civic Touring. Let's take a look at the interior. We're going to talk about the space in the rear. We're going to talk about the space in the front. And then, of course, after that, we're going to take it on a POV drive and some nice twisty roads. Let's go. All right, up first, as usual, we have the rear for the Honda Civic Touring. Not a lot of different colors, but look, one of the highlights for the rear here is the fact that we get 3 levels of heated seating, which is really good. The other side gets it, of course, as well. I like kind of this design here. It does kind of split things up. Nice mats there. Pretty much a black seat as black seats go, but again, not a huge deal. Let's actually hop in here. It's very easy to do that. It's not like, it is a compact sedan. I think we can still consider it that, but it's on the level where, you know, kind of pushing that name a little bit. But plenty of room back here, plenty of feet room. You can see plenty of leg room. I'm 5'11" here. I'm not really touching the roof too much, but it's very close to me. But there is kind of like this little cutout for me, which is going to be very useful. I've got 2 sets of USB charging right there. Little pocket storage over there by the passenger. Like I said, that heated seat, so right here also is able to heat. You got some, cup holders going to roll down here. Baby seat, again, not a professional car person, but I do like to keep this in even if I don't actually put my baby in here. It fits perfectly, fits nicely. I can see the baby perfectly fine and she enjoys it. Plenty of space for like a whole newborn kind of thing going on in here. So that's going to be excellent for families and stuff. I think this is one of the cars that families are going to be looking into. So I want to show you that. Baby seat, baby car seat fits pretty nicely in there. We get a nice little view of the sunroof up front there. And yeah, let's actually hop up front because there's more to go over up there. Let's do it. All right, next up is the front seat, as there's some type of saw behind me. No idea what that is. So let's take a look at the door here. We don't have any seating controls here, but they're on the other side. Then we have the trunk button right there on the door. No memory seating or anything like that, even though we are in the top trim. But I do like the Civic Master labeled. Again, black seats, nothing crazy, but it's a nice leather material that's pretty comfortable. Let me actually hop in here now, close the door, get rid of whatever that sound is. And as you can see, the sound noise isolation is pretty good in here. You don't hear that saw anymore, which is fantastic. So now we're greeted with this very nice steering wheel, very simple, very easy to use. So I got my volume controls here on the left-hand side, and then I've kind of got a scroll wheel to control our digital infotainment. I've got my heated steering wheel button right there. Fantastic place for it. I like this as well. I've got my adaptive cruise control and my lane centering right here on the right-hand side. Automatic rain sensing wipers, very nice thing to have. Parking sensors, as well as the traction control off on my left-hand side, and this is to illuminate the gauge cluster and the infotainment. Very nice. Talking about the gauge cluster, let's take a look at it here. I'll get as close as I can, and then I'll kind of zoom in and post here. So what we have here is a fully digital gauge cluster. Very nice. I think Honda have been doing that in their Civics for quite a long time, and it's nice to see it continue here. This reminds me of like the Acura Integra's kind of gauge cluster. It looks very much the same. I'm sure the Honda Civic Si looks the same, and I'm sure the Type R looks similar to it as well. But you can kind of, scroll through your different things here. On one side, you can customize it as well for different types of information. And then I can also scroll through it again on the other side to customize that. So fantastic there. It's very simple, but I like it. It displays all of my information that I need to know. Like if you have your wireless Apple CarPlay or wired Android Auto, whichever one you want to do, wireless, wired or wireless, they support both. You'll see like a little thing come up there for your current media, which is nice. I like the red of the start stop button here. You can kind of see it. I've also got paddle shifter, so you can make the slowest version of the Civic kind of or one of the slower versions of the Civic kind of sporty with the flappy paddles there. It's very nice. Then we have our infotainment display right here. Very simple. Again, we saw something similar when I showed you the Integra and stuff like that. We've got vehicle settings, where there's not a lot of vehicle settings because there isn't a lot that you can really change or that you even really want to play with on a vehicle like this, but still it's there if you need it. Very simple, easy to use. Trip computers there, Sirius XM, built-in navigation, everything you could ever want is right here, and it's all a quick accessible down there. Very nice to have. We like this as well. It's very smooth, no lagging, connects no problem. Kind of got some physical controls there too, which is nice. Move a little bit lower, we have like these nice vents. I've heard some complaints that these feel cheap, but honestly, for what the car costs, this is perfect. I like kind of like the grille here. A little bit of piano black, but this isn't a high touch area, so I don't care about that. I've got dual zone automatic climate control, and these buttons feel premium. They feel clicky. Again, they feel the same as in the Integra, so there's not huge differences between the two, at least in like the lower specs, which is nice. I've got heated steering here, 3 levels of it. So does my passenger. My HVAC controls can be controlled from the buttons down here, so we like this as well. I've got 2 USB ports right up here, as well as a wireless charger. That is a nice touch. Standard shifter, because we don't need to make things complicated. Perfect. 2 cup holders. My drive mode selector here, I've got Eco, Sport, and Normal. Then I've got my auto brake hold, electronic parking brake, a bunch of storage in here. It's actually quite useful. I've been using the little compartment in here. Glove box there, very nice. Not a crazy detailed, switching colors, kind of switching materials interior, but by all purposes for what it's used for and what you need it for, it's fantastic, feels great, looks great. I don't mind it. We also get a Bose sound system, which does sound pretty good. It's not the best sound system in the world, but for what it is, for what we want it for, I think it's fantastic. Seats are plenty comfortable, but we'll actually take it on a drive right now, and I'll talk about ride quality and everything in between. Let me strap that GoPro to my head, and let's take it for a POV drive. Let's go. All right, so we are kind of on the road with the Honda Civic Touring. I'm kind of like, leaving a park there, so this isn't necessarily the public road, so I'm not going to go too fast, but I'll start off by kind of talking about like visibility. So that is very, very good. Visibility, usability in the Honda Civic Touring is really, really solid. it just drives very nicely. It's such a good daily driver. I remember saying we're having similar feelings to the Mazda 3, where it was just like you hop in, you know where everything is, you know what everything does. It's very easy to understand. It's not hard to get a grip of how the car drives. It's not manual, nothing like that, so maybe you don't have as much fun as you want. CVT is obviously on the boring side of the stuff, but at the same time, it is, you know, what it's supposed to do. It does what it's supposed to do, just be smooth, and it is actually quite smooth. So we like that as well. And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this. I already can tell you that. Like, I think a lot of people are going to really like, you know, the ride quality, the looks of it, the features that it has in there. I do think that it's going to appeal to the masses, and that's obviously Honda's goal for that. Okay, so out on the public road, let's go into sport mode. I have some kind of windy roads here. Yeah, so let's talk about performance, right? Like, it's got some power to it. I mean, it takes a while off the line. The turbo takes a bit to get into it. I mean, you know, I'm not, you see there, I wasn't going really anywhere fast. 180 horsepower is definitely not a lot to write home about, but still pretty decent for what it is. And I do like it. I think that, you know, it can be fun, kind of. The handling is phenomenal, though. Like, the handling makes up for a lot of maybe the shortcomings. Like I'm just ripping into this corner here, no problem. It's very easy. And I think that's because of the multi-link rear suspension. It's fantastic to use that. It's just a really great system. I love what Honda's done. So I can only imagine what the Type R and the Civic Si are like to actually drive on roads and stuff. Well, they must be absolutely dialed in, because these things, I mean, just the base level, or like the non-performance version of a Civic, is really, really good. It's actually better than I expected, better than I had hoped, I can say too. Like, really solid. Like, I get some wheel spin sometimes, but like, it's pretty fast. And like, you know, crapped it into the corner, ram it in there, accelerate out of it, a little bit of understeer. That's fun. That's really, really fun. It's just a great little handling car. Like, it's such a nice thing. And it's like, especially when it's a nice day out too, like, you want something, especially when you're like a bit of twisty roads here, like, it's fun. It's really fun to like just rag out, and it doesn't need to be that fast, because even though I don't have a lot of power, I mean, the handling is just so good. Like, switch directions here like this, like, and I don't even need to speed necessarily. Like, I don't need to go too much above the speed limit to really get a good feeling for the steering. Its weight transfer is really good. Its stability is really good. There isn't a lot of body roll in it. And again, this isn't meant to be a performance Civic. It's not even marketed as that. It's meant to be your everyday run-of-the-mill, but here I am having a great time with it. And I think that's where the Civic really shines. I really do. We've got built-in navigation, all the stuff I need. I've put about, like, say, 350 kilometers about, and I'm doing 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Very nice. Like, almost as good as what my daily driver Elantra used to be. Like, completely fine. And that was a little bit faster. I had 200 horsepower in that. I had maybe a bigger engine in that too. So, hey, pretty good. The 7s are good, and especially because I've been driving on roads like this, because I've been filming, of course, so I have been pushing it quite a bit. It would be nice if these speed bumps aren't there, but I'm pretty sure people have done, way faster than I'm willing to do on these roads. So front wheel drive, yeah, okay. There's no all wheel drive for the Civic, which, okay, that's fine, I guess, but you're really going to need good winter tires. I can't stress that enough. You need good winter tires if you've only got front wheel drive. Coming from somebody who's lived with a front wheel drive only car for about 5 or 6 winters now, the better the winter tires, the better off you're going to be, because like with front wheel drive cars, it's hard sometimes, especially in a lot of ice and stuff like that. If you don't live in a place where it snows a lot, then maybe you don't even need to worry about that, and this point doesn't apply to you. But if you live in Canada specifically, you need something good. You need some good tires under you. Look, it doesn't need to be quick. I'm telling you, like, because the handling is just that good. Like, Would I have a great time with it around the track? I don't know. It depends on how many corners the track has, right? Like, because if you're going in a straight line, eventually it's all it's going to give you, right? that sign's telling me danger, yet I'm doing the speed limit, so that's wonderful. So yeah, it's like, that's the thing with these back roads. Every back road in Quebec is like this. I've got tons of speed bumps and those signs everywhere, because I think the car market in Quebec is quite good. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of enthusiasts around here. So if I ever get a Civic Type R, I'll definitely take it to where I can, where there's no speed bumps, but it's rare, really rare to find that. And this is a huge speed bump. Imagine if I flew over this. Woo! Not even good handling could save me there. Yeah, so the ride quality is really good. You can see, like, these roads aren't perfect, and they never are in Quebec. So, like, I don't feel like I'm getting bumped around. I feel like my old Elantra was a bit of a more rougher ride than this Civic Touring is, and I don't know if that's by design, because this is meant to be like, you know, the top end of things. So maybe they, you know, they damped up the suspension a little bit more. But whatever they did, I hope they keep doing it, because it's been very, very comfortable. Very smooth power delivery too. It's not aggressive. It's not jerky. The CVT does its job in that respect, because, like, you know, the daily driver that I'm comparing this to, that I had, which is the 2018 Hyundai Elantra, like, it was a dual clutch, so we would shift aggressively. You would feel it in sport mode. This you don't. I mean, it shifts, but not aggressively, because I don't think it can. The CVT kind of screams for its life whenever you do anything that, you know, involves anything. But it's the same thing with a Hyundai side anyways. If you get an IVT, there's, you know, the intelligent variable transmission. It's still not any better. There's still not, you know, there's still not necessarily fun things to drive. But look at this. Oh, it just feels so good when you corner in this thing. Oh, it just feels so good. Oh my God, I can't wait until I drive the Civic Si. I do have that booked coming up here soon. So, oh boy, you're going to see me, like, manual transmission, really good quartering. Hopefully they kept it. There's a fellow Honda friend. And yeah, this is fun. It can be fun. The touring can be fun. I don't know what. Maybe I'm over exaggerating it. Maybe some people are going to be like, really? But I'm serious. This really can be fun if you need it to be, and it can be nice and can be your little traffic goer. I've got a lane centering assist here too, so that's perfectly good as well. And yeah, it's just a great little car to drive. So I think we're gonna wrap things up there for the Honda Civic Touring. Overall, great car to drive, great fun when you want it to be. It's got really great handling. You'll see when you drive it. It's absolutely fantastic. Good sport mode, decent eco mode, not too bad on fuel, very good ride quality. It's hard for me to find things to complain about. It's decently priced too. I think the pricing on this one is very, very competitive. So again, A+ there, A+ all across the board. I think it probably is the compact king. I really don't know what comes close to this. You know, the Elantra is probably its closest rival with the top end stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if the handling is the same. I don't know if the Hyundai, I mean, is good enough to compete with it. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that in the comments, but it probably is the compact king. We probably safe to say that, right? So I'll go ahead and leave it there. Great car. Go drive the Civic Touring. It's affordable. It's nice. It's decently loaded and everything in between. Yeah. So I'm glad I got to bring you this kind of like twisty road driving. I'll try to kind of film here a little bit more. It's kind of a new area that I'm testing out. A lot of speed bumps, but still we do have those little areas where we can do the car. So yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed. I will pick it up in the next one. Stay tuned. I got a bunch of cars booked and everything in between. So we are still making content like crazy. So if you enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.